in spite of all that has happened, I am here and I am how and who I am. And it doesn't define me, but I rose from it.
Hey, welcome back to Normalize The Conversation. Today I'm here with activist and author of Smokes and Whiskey, Tejaswini Divya Naik. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you really?
Hi, Fran. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me here. It's an absolute honor.
Of course, I'm so excited to have you. You have an amazing mental health journey that really started with bullying in school. Can you jump in and tell me about it?
So, you know how it is a typical story for every nerd out there in the schools. And you're sitting on the first bench, you're answering all the questions, you are the teacher's favorite pet, and suddenly you are picked out to be, that kid who is just unnecessarily bullied in school. I don't know how, I think a lot of us have felt the same way and have experienced this. I don't know about everybody. I can't talk for everybody else, but what I can say for my own self is that, yes, I have been through really, really bad bullying. And so much so that this one time, someone locked me in the bathroom. Like, I know exactly who it is, but I'm not going to give them that power over me and say who it was. So someone did lock me in the bathroom, and I was stuck there for a very long time. Then the same person, they one day in class, they brought scissors, and then they started cutting my hair, this other girl's hair. Then they got a lighter in class, and they would start, they tried burning our hair with the lighter. So it was a mad and an absolutely horrible experience. And yes, if given a chance, I would actually not want to go back there and change anything, because of all that that has happened is why I am who I am today. It's not because of, actually, it's despite of. In spite of all that has happened, I am here and I am how and who I am. And it doesn't define me, but I rose from it. And I would just this is what I try and tell everybody whenever I come across someone who has been through bullying and who has been bullied in school, or even kids. I know there are some kids I know who are the bullies. And all that I try and tell them is that, this is not going to matter. You were the cool kid, you were the smart kids. It just doesn't matter. In a few years, you're going to be in different cities. Probably you're not going to be in touch with those people. Probably you never know. You're going to end up being best friends with those people. So it's just incredible how bullying shapes people in various different ways possible. For some, it could just lead down a very, very bad path. And for some, it could just give them that confidence and the will to fight back. So you have to choose your own way, and you have to be absolutely strong in the head. And I'm not saying that people who get affected by it are not strong. They are incredibly strong as well. But it's just that it takes, I don't know exactly how to put it in words, but it affects different people differently. But just that we have to be strong for our own selves, if not for anybody else, which is very important. So I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry. I started off on a different path and I went on a different path completely.
No, that was an amazing answer. I admire your strength so much. I can't imagine sitting in class and someone trying to burn my hair. And you've taken that and you're like, I'm not giving them that power over me. And I think that's an amazing message to send to people. I think a lot of times when we are bullied, or people pick on us or make us feel singled out or alone, we allow it to eat away at us, and we use it as an excuse to not show up for ourselves. And instead, you've used it as a reason to show up for yourself. and turned that pain into passion and into purpose. And I admire that so much about you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just to add like an anecdote of some sort, it's I think my more like I used to be a writer. I've been a writer since forever, but more of my serious work began during this time, because I would come back home and I would pretend that all of this didn't happen, and I would make up a story and I would write that in my diaries at that point. And I still do. I write with a pen on paper. I prefer writing with pens on paper. So I would start writing a story and develop and create this entire different world where I was. And I had so many friends, and I would be sitting down with so many friends and having lunch, and we would be playing or we would be talking and chatting. And that is exactly where I think my writing began. So I think the anecdote that I'm trying to give and I'm trying to talk about basically is take that energy, take that emotion, take that all of that is filling you up from inside, and put it in something like songwriting, music, playing, sports, writing, anything else. Don't let that negative energy and negative emotion take over you. Put it to good use and make something beautiful out of it.
Creativity is an amazing way to express your pain and to process and move through it.
Yes.
So when you were bullied in school, how did that affect your mental health? Did it affect your mental health?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, well, I did. It did. I now just thinking about it, I'm unable to spell it out, or it's so funny. While I'm talking to you, I just looked up, and it's just like coincidence. My school photo is right in front of me. the album, the class photo that you take with your entire class, it's right in front of me, and I can see that person who used to bully me, like that entire group is standing right in front of me. It did in a major way. There were times I would just go spiraling down, and I would be just sitting through the nights and thinking, what is so wrong with me, and what did I do to deserve this, and why is this happening with me, and why are these people so mean, and why are their parents not like my parents, and why did my parents not teach me to be like them, or fight back, or say mean things, or be rude. Because the thing is, I am just this person who's always sweet, who's always kind, who's always nice, and but that in I don't know in which part of the world and why are people like this, but that's apparently taken as being fake and being a pushover. Yeah. And someone, people think that you're being a doormat, and that people just can walk all over you. They'll be mean 1 second, and just because they know that you're nice and you're sweet and you're kind, they will come to you and be like, hey, would you be able to please help me with this assignment, or would you be able to do my homework? Yeah. So what started happening was, in my head, like I said, I started writing as well. So I started developing this other world, and that helped me. The writing helped me, because I would take out my anger and my pain and my hurt and my resentment in the writing. And sometimes when I wouldn't like what I've written, or sometimes when I would read what I've written and I would be like, oh, this is not me, this is not who I am, I would tear that, or I would just flush it down the toilet. And next day back in school, it would be like a fresh day. It would be like, nothing happened yesterday. Because I've already taken all of that out in the words on paper. Sorry, you were saying something?
I was just going to say, kindness is often mistaken for weakness, like you said. And
yes.
When you are
not
bullied,
weakness, it's taken as being fake for some very strange reason. I don't understand. Like, you're being kind to people, you're being nice to people, and they're like, oh, she's so fake, she's just making that up to, I don't know, earn brownie points, or like, what brownie points will I earn by being nice and kind? I don't understand such people.
Exactly. And I think that people use kindness as like it's a defense, and it
Yeah,
can't actually just be who you are. It can't be authentic. It has to be a defense.
exactly.
But you could also
Exactly.
use it as a defense and kill them with kindness.
Absolutely. It's so good to kill them with kindness, and more than that, kill them with your strength. Don't let them see that what they're doing is affecting you. Like I said, I would come back and write it out. I would channel my emotions and all of my energy into my writing and in my studying. So what eventually happened was that I would study, and I would write. And yeah, I'm very proud to say, like, they can make all the fun of as much as they want, but I'm very proud to say that I scored really well, and I did so well that I scored the highest in my city for a particular subject, and I scored the highest in the country for a particular subject, which
Wow.
was like in the 0.1% of the entire country.
That's incredible.
Thank I'm very proud to say. I'm sorry, I might be sounding like a priest right now. I'm very proud to say that I got 100 on the subject that people didn't. It was very difficult to get 100 on that subject, but I channeled and I focused and completely put myself into my studying and my writing. And look where I am right now. I'm very proud to say, look where I am right now.
I am so proud of you. That's amazing. I think a lot of people allow the bullying to really get to them and change them and kind of unmotivate them. And you use it as motivation, and you focused in on something that you could control. And it
Correct.
worked out very well for you.
Correct. Thank you so much. Yes. And also another thing that I think is very important in all of this is that you should have people I could come back and speak with these friends that I had back at home, not in school. And yes, I eventually got some great friends in school. Like, how if you've seen Stranger Things,
I
or if
have
you've seen
not.
it, and then you have you've not, oh god, okay,
Not, but
you must. So there's like this group of people, the cool kids don't consider them cool, but we knew we were cool, we knew we were awesome, and look at us now, we are all excelling in our lives. And till this date, I'm really good friends with them. Like, I'm so good that I can call them my best friends. They are amazing, and I absolutely love and adore them. So yes, high school did give me some bad memories, but I think I have better and happier memories, which I can easily overlay over the bad.
I love that so much. And I'm so glad you're able to find that support system that you really needed. Maybe it was a little later than you had needed and wanted it,
Yeah.
but you eventually did find it and get it, which is incredible.
Thank you.
So if you could go back in time and tell your high school self something, what would you say?
And actually, that's an incredible question. I would say just hang on. Just, don't let these people get to you, because they're going to come running to you when school gets over. And I think, and you're going to do so much better than them at life. And actually, what they do does not matter. What is happening right now does not matter, because by the end of it, in the next 2-3 years, you're going to be living a great and a happy life, and these people would not be existing in your life anymore. So what happens right now does not define you. It does not make you weak. It is not something that you should be worried about. What you should be worried about and be focused on is yourself, and that's all that you need to be worried about.
That is amazing advice to offer your younger self. And it's so true that it's temporary. It doesn't feel like it's temporary at that time though, but it really is temporary, and you will get through it, and you will probably never see those people who hurt you again.
Exactly. I actually have this letter. I had gone to this workshop and they had made us write letters to our 15-year-old selves. And I have this letter, and whenever I open it and sit down, I end up crying because there's so much, like, they made us write it when I was 25, and they made us write it, when 10 years back. So about when you were 15, 16, and all of this began literally for me. That go back to your past self, and what is that one thing that you will tell her? And I think the most important thing that I tell my younger self, that, wait and watch. You're going to be a national bestseller. You're going to achieve some major and incredible things. You're going to be meeting President Obama.
Wow.
You're going to be winning 4 huge campaigns against YouTube, against Zomato. And it's going to be incredible. Just hold on. Don't give up. That's the thing. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing to see how far you've come. I think that when it feels like the world is against you, like everyone around you kind of hates you or makes you feel like you're not good enough and isolates you, it can be so hard to imagine ever feeling happy and content. It can feel like the idea of achieving anything can feel impossible, because they really start to get at your self-esteem. Did it break your self-esteem at all when you were bullied?
Yeah, like horribly. At that point, I was so thin, and I used to feel like I'm so fat and I'm so ugly and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm not deserving of friends, or there's something wrong with me. And yeah, it led to some horrible consequences, because the bullying, if I could have been so lucky, but I wasn't, apparently. But the bullying didn't stop in school. It went on in college also, and college was a little different and had different people. And there was like a whole lot of new drama there. So yeah, it did lead to several consequences. But at the end of the day, I'm here and I'm happy and I'm content. And I wouldn't change the past. I wouldn't change anything in the past, because, like I said, I am not here because of it. I'm here in spite of it. And that's what makes sense.
I really love that quote that you're saying, that you are here in spite of it. That is very, very powerful. I think a lot of times we say, because of this, I am who I am. But it really is in spite of all the obstacles, all the trauma, all the pain that we suffered. It's in spite of all of it that you were still able to keep this kind heart inside of you, that you were able to stay motivated and determined to be someone, and to be someone who makes a difference and impacts people around you. And that is so special.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So if you could go back in time and say something to the people who bullied you, what would you say?
I would actually just tell them to grow up, but I don't think I would go back and say anything to them. I would let them do what they want to do, make a fool out of themselves, and because whatever they want to do is going to lead up to what they are going to be now, and everything has a consequence, and there is karma always. So yeah, I don't want to say anything to them, because saying something to them is going to change the way things have been, the circle of life. So yeah, let the circle of life be.
That is amazing. I think a lot of people would kind of go off on them if they had suffered so much pain because of them. And instead you allow them to be who they are. And if that's the way they wanted to treat you, then that's okay, because you were able to accomplish so much in spite of all of it.
Exactly.
So tell me about some of these campaigns that you've launched.
So it started off with this campaign against YouTube, where while I was doing some research for a project I was working on, I came across these horrible videos of these little kids who are probably about 5 or 6 years old, okay, who don't even speak Hindi properly. Hindi is the national language of India. So they don't even speak Hindi properly. They are from a small village in West Bengal, where Bengali is the prominent language. And they're being made to say extremely ugly, horrible things in English, things they don't even understand. And this was being run by a person who, a US citizen. And he was basically, there's this app called Fiverr. And there he was, putting up that I will make these kids say so and so, whatever you say. And he was betting on it. And he was placing bids on it. That whoever places the highest bid, their sentence or their quote or their dialogue would be said by the kids in the next video.
Wow.
So there was stuff like, I don't know if you want to censor this, but there was stuff like I get more ass than a toilet seat, and Hitler wasn't bad, and Nazis rule, and like really incredibly horrible stuff. And I mean horrible to the limit. Like I things that I can't say on camera. That bad. And these kids who are 5 years old, they don't understand a word in English. And then when I complained to YouTube, it said it doesn't go against the community guidelines.
How does that not go against community guidelines?
I wish I knew. I don't know who was behind YouTube. And at that point, I mean, right now, Instagram is doing the same thing that YouTube was doing then. Because they have bots. And as for the bots, that algorithm is working and there's no issue in that. So everything is working well for them. And they don't see anything wrong with it to flag it down. And that's how the campaign was launched. And I was so enraged, and I was like, how dare you? And these are kids of my country. How are you making them say all of this garbage? Are you making them say all of this trash? And you're earning money out of it. And there's no money going to these kids. Apparently, you're just saying that, I'm earning for these kids and these kids are making money off of these videos. But where's the proof? Give me the proof. There was no proof. There was like, this guy was earning all the money and nothing is going to the kids, and the kids are just dancing around like fools. And actually people are laughing. If you see the comments, people are laughing like such silly kids, stupid kids, ugly kids, saying really nasty stuff, comments. So yeah, then it started off, and I actually slept on it. Like I started it, and then 2 days into it, I've gone to bed and I've woken up, and suddenly it's become this big thing. So many people have picked it up. Media outlets have picked it up. Like news channels across are picking it up. It became so big that France and Germany picked it up, and Australian outlets picked it up. It was translated in French. It was translated in German. It was a massive campaign suddenly. And I was at the center of it, and I started getting all these death threats and horrible threats, that how dare you, and what you're doing is wrong, and worse things than this. Like, I'm still telling you the very mellow things. But I didn't back down. I had the entire team, that the platform that I'd started it on, them supporting me. And eventually, Miss Susan, I don't know how to pronounce her surname. She's the CEO of YouTube. She wrote an apology letter, and it was posted. And then after that, the stricter rules and laws for YouTube came in. Wow. And then after that, they started YouTube Red, where It's like a difference between your normal YouTube and YouTube Red. So, and now whenever you complain about something or you flag something down, immediate action will be taken, and people will make sure that they are looking into it. There's an entire team behind looking into all of this is happening. So that was my first campaign.
That is an incredible campaign. That is amazing.
Thank you so much.
I can't believe that people were exploiting children in that way. And I so admire that you saw it and you had to do something about it. A lot of people would have been like, that's terrible, and moved on.
Yep.
But you wouldn't give up. And you made such an amazing difference.
Thank you so much. I mean, if I was to start talking about the other three, it will take a lot of time. But, you know, if anybody wants to actually check, I shall share the links with you, or I can just tell you in rather quickly that one was the one after this was because I was so enraged and I wanted to do something more. So the next one after this was against these food delivering apps called Zomato and Swiggy, because there had been cases of the delivery boys raping, molesting, harassing, not just girls, but old people, young kids as well. And there had been a couple of murder cases as well because of the delivery boys, and rape definitely. There was a case about a girl who had to shift cities because of a delivery boy stalking and harassing her. So it was like, man. So I collected all the data, all the evidence, proof, everything that I had, and I started off the campaign. Initially, they didn't listen, of course, but then the National Restaurant Association of India came in the picture, and rules changed like that, because again, media outlets started picking it up, and they were like, oh, this is the same girl who did the YouTube campaign, so let's see what she's talking about now. So then it became a thing. And then, yes, that's what I, of course, won that campaign, and laws and better laws were brought into for the delivery apps, and there was like a proper screening, which is what I was asking for, that, you know, screen the people that you are taking in for being your delivery boys and everything. And after these two campaigns, something mega awesome happened. So President Obama was coming for a town hall to India, and
oh, your screen went away for a second.
Yeah, my battery is low on second. Better? Okay, so I will start again. So something rather amazing, like mega awesome happened after this. President Obama was coming to India for his town hall, and there were a lot of people who had to give a test and, you know, be interviewed and go through different levels. But there were a couple of us who were invited. I was one of them who was invited to be in that town hall to meet President Obama and ask the question first time. And I did get picked by President Obama to ask a question. If you go there and you see the video, that you would see that. Wow. But something happened. Someone else took the mic. I could not, because you know how I am. I did not snatch the mic back from them like they snatched it out of my hands. They asked their question. But you know what happened? It is incredible. You know that moment when you're someone comes to you and they're talking to you, but someone else butts in and you have this eye contact and you, like, you know, they apologize to you through their expression and through their eyes. President Obama and I actually had that. Like, he looked at me before, you know, before this person started asking their question, he looked at me that brief few seconds, and he looked at me and he was like, you know, he blinked twice. I was like, oh my God, is he saying like, I'm so sorry, because he did pick me and I stood up and the mic was handed to me. But yes, I can't help it. This is what happened, and I felt really bad. I was like, you know, he did the blinking thing. At least I felt nice for that. But when I sat back down, I was like, I literally was crying, and the people next to me who had come with me, they were like holding my hand and they were like trying to pacify me. And, you know, I mean, they did see it was dropping down right there and there. See, it actually happened, and not just me. Like, the people who were sitting next to me, they also were like, oh my God, did you and Obama exchange looks? And I was like, yes, that did happen. And I can't tell you, because I have idolized Obama and I love him so much, so bad. And just imagine to have those few brief seconds where he's directly looking into your eyes and saying sorry with his eyes and with his face. And, he was just like looking at me. And if you do go on YouTube and you see that, you'll see his face go blank for few seconds. And he's just looking at me at that point and just like blinking his eyes. It's just incredible. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to ask a question, but now I have a story to tell. So that's something what happens. Like, when an experience like this happens, you can feel bad at that moment, or you can feel good that this happened and you got to learn something from it.
That is, wow. I am amazed that you were able to have that experience with President Obama, especially someone who you idolized and looked up to, and a very incredible leader. That is just an amazing story.
Thank you.
So what were you going to say?
Nothing. I was just about to say that. So, I mean, what are we talking about next? I'm so excited. I think talking to you is making me feel super amazing and making me realize things that I've done and I just probably brushed it off. But I'm just feeling incredible about myself, and everybody should have a moment where they feel incredible and proud about themselves. My English just went to, I don't know, it just flew past the window. But no, I really have these moments.
And that's what I love about what I do, is getting to listen to a lot of people kind of brag about themselves, because we're taught to kind of suppress ourselves and what we've accomplished, especially as women. You're not allowed to brag. If a man brags about themselves, that's okay. That's normal. But a female brags about themselves and they're self-centered, they're B-word, they're all these terrible things.
Absolutely. And if something happens and a man reacts to it, he's just reacting to it. But if a woman reacts to it, she's overreacting to it.
Yes.
It's just a different world for women altogether. It's just horrible how we've been taught to suppress our emotions, suppress our happiness, and, just go on about, it happened. And, let's not talk about it. Or just be, oh my God, let's just be coy and shy about it. No, I mean, I did it and I'm proud of it and I'm happy that I did it. And I don't know if anybody else would have been in my place and they would have done it, I would have felt happy for them. So if I'm happy for them, why can't I feel happy for my own self? What's wrong in feeling happy for yourself and feeling proud about yourself and cheering yourself on? Be your own biggest cheerleader, man. You don't need anybody else to cheer for you.
Exactly. You should be your own biggest cheerleader and you're a number one fan, and you should always be proud of who you are. And if you look in the mirror and you're not proud of who you are, I hope that you start to see it, because you are just such a beautiful light in this world and doing so many amazing things. And if you ever doubt yourself for a second, call me so I can tell you, because you really
what? I'm going to keep on speed dial.
Always, because
and the same goes for you. Okay, the same goes for you. If anytime, any given time you feel like you're hurting or you want to talk to somebody, or you're not feeling that great about yourself, you can just call me in the blink of an eye and I'm going to answer your call and we're going to talk.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you coming on this series and sharing your story with me and all the amazing accomplishments that you have achieved. You should be so proud of all of your accomplishments. I am so proud and honored to have had this conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. You are just amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored, and I'm so glad that through this medium, I found an absolute gem of a person like you, and I'm not going to let you go.
Never
You're
let
an
me go.
amazing and beautiful person, and please keep this up. And I know I don't really know you that well, but I'm so proud of you, Fran. And I don't know what to say. Like, you're just an amazing person, and thank you so much for having me on this.